What's up, everyone? Welcome to the channel. T-RAVIS here. Today, I want to go over something it kind of bothers me. I see people just going crazy over newsstands, and there's a reason to go crazy over newsstands, depending on when this newsstand was made. So I quit collecting around 2010 and took a hiatus for about 10 years before I got back into it. So anything after 2010, I'm not an expert on it by any means, but I have done a lot of reading. I've read a lot of different websites, read some articles, did some history, done some digging, tried to do a little homework, and to better my knowledge of it. So hopefully, I want to share with you what I have learned. And so people like, oh, it's a newsstand, it's worth more, it's worth more. It's not always true. So let's just start back at the beginning. So originally, let's start with the UPC. So originally, DC, which I don't have an example of, I couldn't find it, started putting UPCs on their books in May of 1976. Marvel followed suit a month later in June of 76. So this is an example. Fantastic Four 171 right there. Has the steel 25-cent on here. And the DC book of May is already a 30-cent book. So it's a 30-cent thing Marvel had held back. That's why you still see still 25 cents, because they were selling 5 cents cheaper than DC at the time. But they were all printed. So the question, I had asked this in a live chat. I think people have misunderstood what I was asking. My question was, say this Fantastic Four 171. Is there some printed on the cover with no UPC on it at all, and then some with it? Or were they all just printed? So as far as I can tell, I've done a lot of looking on different sites, eBay, just all kinds of different page sites. I've Googled images. As far as I can tell, there's no, like this Fantastic Four 171, all of them have the UPC on them. They were all just printed that way. So there's no variation or hunt or anything to find on. If it is, it's very rare, and I haven't seen, guess anybody has found one. But they all had the UPC, so everything was newsstand at that point anyway. In 1976, there was no direct comic book stores that sold new editions. I'm sure there was secondhand stores and bookstores that sold discounted books, probably a nickel a piece, a dime a piece, whatever. So from what I can find through digging through research, until the summer of 79, so June of 79, Marvel started producing books for direct market. That means it's going right to the comic book stores. DC did not start making direct books till October of 1980. So Marvel was ahead of DC in making books just for the direct market. So to signify this, they did three things. At first, there's a blank UPC code box. I have an example of it right there. Nothing in the box. This would have been a direct market. There's also some reprints that came out in reprint packs that had no UPCs in the box. I don't know the dates on those. I didn't research those, so there could be more. But this is an example of a direct market book. Here's another one, Marvel 2-in-1 number 54. They have a diagonal line through the UPC code right there. You can see that. Here's another one, Captain America 234 with the diagonal line. And a Fantastic Four 210. Now all these diagonal, this one here is kind of faded. Look, it's just, you can tell it's through there, but it's like it's been rubbed off or something. It's like faded off. But every one of these examples are 40-cent books with the diagonal lines. And then they went to the picture. So here's, and everybody knows these pictures. So right there is the picture. And then later on, they started doing different stuff in there. I've got one with a Captain America on it and different stuff for direct market. So from what I can tell, and I'm going to read this as I wrote it down, just so you can understand the difference in newsstand versus direct market in the beginning, to where in 1979, if you find a direct market book, it is actually less of them produced than the newsstands, because in 1979 newsstands were 94% versus direct market at 6%. So 6% of the books of 79 were made direct market. This one here is a 1979 Marvel 2-in-1 right here. Only 6% of these were made for direct market versus 94% newsstand. So tell me which one's more valuable if you're going by newsstand versus direct. It would be this one. It'd be less printed with that little line through the barcode. 1982, and they switched it. Newsstand, 80%, 20% direct market. So a book in 1982, 20%, if it was a direct market book, it would be 20%. And this is a 1981 book, direct market. Right here. So people see this book, this Avengers Annual 10, right here, and say, oh, it's a newsstand, I'll pay more for it. You're wrong, because less of these were made for direct market than the newsstand. 86, it went 50-50. 50% newsstand, 50% direct market. 1990, 15% newsstand, 85% direct market. That's where the switch happens. 86 in there, those years to follow up until 1990, it's a coin toss, they're worth the same. 1990, you drop from 50% to 15%, that's a 45% decrease in newsstand. That's where your newsstands start showing value over direct market in 1990. Anything below 1990, let's say anything below 1986, anything below, so I would say 85 and below, the direct market book is more valuable than a newsstand. Then in 95, it went to 10% newsstand, 90% direct market. In 2000, 5% newsstand, 95% direct market. In 2005, direct market or newsstand was 2%, direct was 98%, and in 2013, 1% was newsstand and 99% direct market. There's your money newsstand editions right there. 2013 and up. And I don't remember the cutoff date where they quit doing newsstand altogether. I know it's tricky. There's times you'll see a book and it has newsstand written in there and it just blows your mind that that's a newsstand book. But anywhere from I would say anywhere from 1990 on up, the newsstand would be more valuable to me to find something in a newsstand. And there's all kinds of stuff. There's all kinds of things. Like, for example, the first UPCs were a 7 barcode. Marvel reused the same barcode. They changed the last 2 numbers. So, after the end of the year, after the 12th month, after December, they rolled back to January. They started all over again. So, for example, Amazing Spider-Man 160, 172, 184, 196, and 2000 or 208 all have the same barcode. That's why an older comic book store cannot use those and scan to take it out of their inventory, because if you scan that barcode, the computer doesn't know if it's taken out issue 160, 172, 184, because it's a recurring barcode. You change every 12 months. They changed the last two digits, got through the month, started all over at the beginning. And they did that for years and years. And then there's a breakdown of how to read the new barcodes. I'm not going into that. That's a lot of stuff. People, you can Google it. CBSI had a good article on it. I did find a price guide. Kind of breaks it down. It says that books. So newsstand versus direct market, 79 to 85. The direct market should be twice. It says it should be valued twice as much as the standard, as a newsstand. 86 to 90, 3 times. So it breaks it down. Then you get to 90, it flops. And it goes on up, all the way up to 2005 is where it stopped. A newsstand is 10 times the value of a regular. You know, that's it's just a rough guide to go by. And that's not something I would use. It's all current value market price or GPA or whatever you want to use on it. But I just want people to be aware that some of these older books, late 70s, early 80s, all the way up to 85, the newsstand is not worth more than the direct market. There's way more printed of them than it is for direct market. So don't be taken. Do a little research for yourself. You know, if I'm wrong on any of this, tell me I'm wrong in the comments. But, you know, it's just something that kind of bothers me. I see people post a Star Wars book up from Marvel in the late 70s. It's a newsstand. Well, yeah, they're all newsstand. So, just keep an eye out. And that's my 2 cents on it. And I hope this knowledge goes out to people and helps them anyway. And I thought it was very interesting. I was very intrigued by it, went through it, and I didn't realize these percentage numbers, but they're out there. Just Google them. You pull them right up. It helps you be consideration of your numbers. And that's it. That's it for this show. It's my little spiel on direct market versus newsstand, and I hope it helps you out. Hey, do me a favor, leave me a comment, give me a thumbs up, share, and just remember, it's important to collect what you like.